was done by, I'm trying to remember the movie guy's name. They rode electric Harleys from way down the far end of South America all the way back up to California. And they had two Rivian trucks and two electric Harleys. It was quite a show. There's several segments of it.
Yeah, I got a comment about that. Uh, that the Harley, you expect to hear that twin V, that beautiful sound of that V twin. I had uh, I was making a right hand turn. I was merging over into the turn lane, and I had one of those electric motorcycles come whizzing by me, passing me on the right hand side as I was preparing to make a right hand turn. Now, if you don't think that electric motorcycle is dangerous, think again. If you can't hear them,
I'm
if you
reminding
can't
you,
see them, they're
Chris,
going to get run over.
I'm reminding you, cribbage.
Do you remember Mike Rosen? He was a radio commentator for years
Oh
here in
yeah,
Denver.
oh
He
yeah,
used to say, "Stupid kids don't survive."
yeah, yeah, yeah. But I don't understand why anybody would want to get on something that you can't hear or you can't see, and then to make
That's
a
what.
then to drive into somebody else's blind spots and expect them to give way to you. Anyhow, hello Larry, hello Daron.
Good evening. Hey there. We could probably start getting into it maybe here. Let's
Oh,
see.
I've been in it, boy. I've been
No
I've
worries.
been
Yeah.
I've been playing all day with my G90 transceiver. This
Oh,
is a real
nice.
this is a real hoot.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that. Cool. Um, all right. Well, my name is Drone. Call sign K1DBC. This is the Elmer session. This is not a net. There won't be any check-ins. You don't have to be you don't have to be a licensed ham radio operator. I am sharing my screen this evening. Don't have a webcam though, but so yeah, this is similar to our Wednesday night learning net. It's a great place to learn about ham radio and STEM topics, and we have plenty of combined expertise and experience. So you can follow us. You can email us drclearningnet@gmail.com, Elmer at W0TX.org. We have groups.io/g/ham learning net. We're at the moment unofficially on YouTube. You can always catch us streaming on there, streaming our nets or this session. You can always ask us questions. If you just search our call sign W0TX, you can find it there. With that, though, I'll throw it out to the group. I mean, yeah, this is we have 45 minutes to an hour or so. If you have any questions, any projects, any show and tell you think or you want to bring up, let us know.
I have a comment.
Yeah, Larry, go ahead.
I got my antenna mast and antenna back up after over a month.
Yeah, that's great to hear. Yeah. Yeah, looking at your post here. That's yeah, he had originally put if you want to go into it, let us know.
Well, I learned that, well, the other one stayed up for 10 years. That's not too bad. Yeah, that's when it went down. And I was worried that that's a fiberglass antenna, the white piece that's down in the lawn there. I was worried that it got destroyed or damaged, but it's just fine. It recovered, it flexed, and
Hmm.
nothing was damaged.
Wow. Okay.
So, and that last 10-foot piece that's on the ground and comes up, I was able to reuse that.
Oh, this is the top of it here. I see now. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, and there's what happened is there's one mast, a 10-foot mast that was 2 foot in the ground that's still vertical. Then there's one 10-foot that's at an angle, and then the other 10-foot that came down and touched the ground with the antenna
Okay.
itself.
Okay.
And so I took out everything. I was able to salvage the top 10-footer piece, and then the other 10-footer I just threw in the lawn, and then the part that was in the ground, I took it out of the ground and I cut it off at the top, the about 2 feet of it, and pounded it back into the ground in the old hole. And I used that to put the MFJ tilt base attached to that. And then I built this new mast which you see us pushing it up there. My son couldn't hold it anymore because and it's pretty light. I could have put it up by myself, but one should always have help. And my son was very good in trying to figure out how to get bolted properly. Yeah, that's the tilt base right there. And they market it under MFJ. They market it under two other of their companies that they own, but it's the
Okay.
same device, same
Ah.
thing. And it's pretty easy to put in. Although, even though it comes with more hardware than I expected, I still had to go buy some other stainless steel screw or bolts and nuts and things at the hardware store just to make it work the way I wanted it to work.
Okay. Interesting.
And you get it up, you get it up into the vertical position, then you put the bolts in to lock it in, basically.
Okay.
But
Interesting.
it works better with a bigger, with a larger diameter. I had the original diameter of all the mass I had was 1 inch, and I now have 1.5, 1.25, and 1 inch. So it gets thinner as you go up the mast. And I secured it with a 1 foot overlap. One of our fellow hams, who's a master electrician, Steve Hardesty, he told me how he built his, and so I built mine the same way. And it is very sturdy. I also secured it to the house at 2 locations, one on the lowest mast and one on the second highest mast. And I used some outdoor bungee cords and some eye bolts, and they have these bungee cords have carabiners on them. And so when I want to take the mast bit down for any reason, I can just unhook the carabiners from the eye hooks and just lower it down. So it came out really nice. It's very sturdy. In fact, when I tried to shake the pole, the mast, I couldn't get it to move. So it's very sturdy now. We
That's
had
great.
pretty high winds.
That was that was really, really windy. That those few weeks there. Let's see, is a date timestamp on this other one? Yeah, 12/15. Okay.
That was December 15th at 10:48. That's when we discovered it down. The previous
right.
photo, which is a few minutes before, the thing was leaning over at about a 30-degree angle.
Oh, okay. Jeez.
And then it finally went. So it's kind of nice to have a camera there that records things going on.
Yeah, that's pretty lucky to have there. Yeah.
Anyway, so I was pleased. I got it up. I was worried that the antenna might have been damaged, and I hooked it up to my Yaesu FT897D, and I put a shout out on a couple different repeaters, and Bill Rinker, W6OAV, responded to me, and we went through a bunch of different repeaters, and he told me how that I was always, my signal was always full quieting, except on UHF trying to connect to the Centennial Cone repeater. He said that on UHF I had some multipathing going on. He could hear some phase distortion. I found that interesting. Probably getting to the repeater by 2 different paths.
That's right.
Anyway, just wanted to bring that up. I had talked about it, and we got it up, and I'm so pleased.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about putting another mast up similar to this with a vertical HF multiband antenna on it.
Okay. Wow. Well, that's good. Yeah, I'm glad there wasn't too much destruction there, and you were able to pretty much salvage what you could, and it's back up now. That's good to hear.
And I ended up buying an electric portable hand drill so I could drill the holes, pilot holes for the eye bolts.
Okay.
So now I have that.
Yeah. There you go. That's funny. You buy it once and you have it forever. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks like, so this was, the wind speeds on December 15th, it looks like in excess of 100 meters per second, it looks like.
Wow.
They were saying intense shortwave and the jet stream brings the tropopause and jet stream nearly to the surface near Denver. That's what it looks like here. So yeah, we definitely had some intense weather that day, that's for sure.
Lakewood requires, when you're putting up an antenna, that you have It's designed for 100-mile-per-hour winds, and it's the only. I think it's the only local regulation in the United States that requires that. I think Jefferson County is 70 miles per hour.
Yeah. Yeah, we have talked about kind of antenna regulations a little bit, and some structures and what kind of city guidelines there are for that. If you're building like towers, things like that. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Well, good to hear. Yeah. Very cool.
Yep. Very pleased.
Question, Larry.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mask that you've got your hands on there. What did you use? What kind of tubing
That's
did you use? Pipe
That's EMT, which you can buy at
EM,
Lowe's.
E-
Yeah.
is that a medic?
Echo.
Is that a medical term?
It's the same stuff they use. Yeah, there it is. Electric metallic tubing. That's what they use in
Conduit?
buildings when they're conduit. It's conduit, but it's an interesting conduit because it's a steel and aluminum contraption, and it's very resistant to
Where did you
uh,
find that? Where did you buy it?
Lowe's. Comes
Lowe's?
in comes in 10-foot sections.
Okay. And wall thickness? Just one wall thickness they sell?
Yeah, it's one wall thickness. You can get some stainless steel tubing and you can get aluminum tubing, but the EMT is a good compromise between weight and strength.
Ah, boy, I'm glad I asked. Thank you.
And it's a little bit more than your standard galvanized tubing.
Well, we're
Um,
expecting a little bit more from it too when we hang
yes,
antennas on it.
yeah, it's got some flexibility, which is okay. The important part is the coupling. How are you going to couple two pieces together? And I think Steve Hardesty's method um, of doing 1 foot overlap with larger diameter at the base and decreasing the diameter as you go up, I think that's the way to go. So if I wanted to go, say, maybe 40 feet, and you're actually losing a foot between each section, but say I wanted to get 40 foot less 3, so I'd be 37. Then I would probably start out at a 2 inch, and then go to 1.5, then 1.25, then 1 inch, and that would get you up in the air, and it'd be pretty sturdy. So
There,
see how he did that in that picture there? He overlaps. See how he has orthogonal directions on the metal bolts there, and that's what I did. But I did it in the overlap. So my overlap's only a foot. Looks like he's got a 2 foot overlap there, maybe. I only did a 1 foot overlap, and I put 2 bolts up and 2 bolts down. So I got 4 bolts in there, and it makes it really
looks
sturdy.
pretty sturdy.
Yeah, that's probably more overlap than you need, to be honest. 1 foot's probably enough.
I'm glad I asked. Thank you.
And it all depends. I guess if you're going up higher, you might want a little bit more overlap at the base. And when you look at antenna failures, mass failures, and when you look at tower failures, it's usually the bottom. It's the segment right above the first piece that fails. If you look at it, and that's where mine failed. Is the base piece and then the second mast up. That's where it failed, and I think that's pretty common.
Interesting.
Okay. Thank you.
Very cool. Yeah. Good story. Yeah, I'm
That's
surprised we. Or go ahead.
That I was just going to say that this video of this guy putting it up, that's really good.
Yeah.
And it looks like he's going to probably attach it to the tree. And I've done that too, where I've attached um, poles to the tree. And of course, when the tree grows a little bit, it's going to change things. You got to redo it periodically every season, check it. But that's a good way to secure it to a tree if the tree is sturdy.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, you have it secured on both ends, really. Okay. Really cool.
Yeah, so if you put it in the ground, mine's like 2 foot in the, well, it used to be 2 foot in the ground, but now the with that tilt base, I am the tilt the the pipe that the tilt base is attached to in the ground is 2 foot into the ground, and then the pole itself, the mast itself is not in the ground, but it's attached to the tilt base, which is attached to a pipe in the ground. And I redid my grounding system as well. That's something else, is I redid my grounding system so that there's a ground coming from the mast, the new mast, going to the pipe that's in the ground, and also going to the copper ground rod. And also all of my surge protectors are also going into that same ground rod. So everything's going into that ground rod, which is right in that area.
Yeah. It's a good opportunity to do that too. Jeez.
I'm not very worried about lightning because I've had lightning strike the mast in the past, and because of all that grounding I've done, it just goes right into the ground. But it makes a very loud noise.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. What an adventure. That's half the fun, is getting to set up antennas and play around with tools and kind of understanding the basics of that, and that's a lot of fun. Anyway.
Yeah, we sat down and had a indoctrination before we put this thing up. I told them what we're trying to do and had all the parts and tools right there ready to go, and if they had any questions to ask, and I told where everybody should stand while we're doing this and who's going to do what, and it went really smooth. We had the thing up and secured within 10-15 minutes.
Yep, many hands, light work there. That's nice. I like that. Cool. All right. Does anybody else have any questions on that, or your own stories in regards to some potential wind issues? We compared to places like Florida, where there's tropical storms, things like that. We certainly don't have too much in that terms, but we see our fair share of high winds. Does anybody else have any other stories of during December when had pretty high winds? Any antennas knocked down or equipment shifted or anything else on that? Let us know.
TRP with a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Larry, just Jim Blanchard here. Just curious, what kind of cameras that you have there watching all that, if you don't mind saying.
I have, I think that's a Fastcam that's there, and I can remote control it, and it also has audio capabilities. And I have a number of extra Fastcams I need to put in. They are the ones I have are not for the outdoors, but the place where I put it, it's protected by the rear there in the rear porch. The rear patio has a covering, so it's protected. And the only thing is, you get a power outage, then it messes it up, and you got to reset it again.
Oh, okay.
But it is both a Wi-Fi. It has both Wi-Fi and wired Ethernet on it, and so the outside one is on Wi-Fi. The ones I have in the house to watch entry points, um, they are on Ethernet.
Oh, power over Ethernet.
No, they have regular power. They just use Ethernet for communicating.
Oh, okay.
So when they take picture, you can set up when there's motion in certain pixels on the camera. You can set up when they will take a picture and where it goes. They can be stored on the camera. I do both. I store it both on the camera SD card, but I also have a server that I upload it to in real time. And so if someone were to steal the camera, I still got all the photos in a secret location.
And then can you monitor remotely too? Is there an
Yes,
app? Yeah,
I can
okay.
use my phone. I can connect with my phone.
All right, thank you.
Nice. Yeah, and that brings up something interesting of products like a Ring or things like that. You don't have access to the files. You can't, and they delete them after a certain amount of time. So having complete control over your own video, that's definitely worthwhile. Yeah.
Yeah, and I have my own email server at home, and so I just email it to my own server.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I have it go off also to the cloud. I have a cloud storage location too, so it automatically does all that. I have a number of different manufacturers' cameras. I got Fastcam, I've got Kuna, which is my lights. So all my lights have cameras on them, and they're connected by Wi-Fi to inside the house. And then I have also the Ring. And but you can do a subscription on Ring where it does store it. It goes out on the
Right.
cloud, but you do have access to, as long as you want, if you're willing to pay for the subscription. Same
Right.
with Kuna. You can pay for a subscription. You can have access to your photos as well. And it's kind of interesting. We use them to check on, like, did the mailman come today? Did they pick up the garbage yet? Things like that. And we can access everything with our phone. But you can also, like with the Fastcams, they have software that you can use to actually have more control over the cameras. I mean, that camera can be turned in any direction to look
Oh,
around.
it's a pan, tilt, zoom camera. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
it doesn't zoom though. It does not
Oh.
zoom. They do have models that do zoom, but these were their early models and they don't zoom. But I can pan and tilt with them, and then you can just set where in the picture when there's motion whether you want to trigger some photos or not. And it will also record some video as well if you want some video.
That's pretty cool.
Then what software is it that you use to do that, and then what app for the phone?
It comes with its own software. Let's see, what's it called? It's called Fastcam Vms. And it comes with a number of different programs. One is to try to figure out if you have DHCP running, trying to figure out which IP address that the camera is on. And then the other one is you can actually ping the cameras. It'll try to find them by pinging them, so you know where they're at. You know what IP address they're on.
Pretty cool.
Is it a Fastcam app for the phone too then?
No, the phone is that, well, okay. So on the phone is if the photos are going to your email, then you can look at them in your email.
Oh, I see. Okay,
And
good.
again, and because I have my own email server, I can connect to my email server and look at the photos.
Good, good. Thank you.
Sure.
Pretty cool. Cool stuff there. All right. Yeah. Thank you for sharing all that info with us, Larry. Good to know that came out well there, and yeah, hopefully future-proofed it and won't happen again here. So pretty cool. All right. Yeah, I'll throw it out to the group again. This is the DRC Elmer session. We have another 30 or so minutes here. If you have any questions, let us know. This is just a general Q&A about ham radio, electronics, s.t.e.m. You don't need to be a ham radio operator. You can put questions in on the chat, or you can jump in on the audio. Let us know. Otherwise, I'll just browse through suits. Oh,
Question
go ahead.
for Larry.
Oh, it looks like he just walked away. It looks like.
Well, what happened?
It looks like he's just walked away for a moment.
Oh, okay.
He just put in chat.
Yeah, I got a question for him later on. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Let's see, we've got 17 people in the chat here. Just looking through some. This is a meme, if you will. I don't think this is real, but if you've ever filled out a CAPTCHA online, this is a pretty funny take on that. Somebody's asking to select all the 220 ohm resistors. So good luck passing that CAPTCHA and logging into whatever you wanted to. Might be a good way to learn about your resistor codes at least, though. So let's see. If you didn't know, those CAPTCHAs... Oh, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, does anybody have any questions or thoughts prior to our upcoming presentation concerning the subject matter of matchboxes antennas that we might think about prior to the presentation?
Good question there, yeah. We have our meeting coming up here, about 30 minutes. John Portune, W6NBC, on the topic of antenna auto-tuners, it's trans matches. So If you have any questions about auto tuners, your built-in tuners, external tuners, auto tuners, manual tuners, yeah, let us know.
How do I'm sorry. How do I share screen here?
Let me stop sharing. I don't know if I have to, but let me just stop. And then you
I
should
just want to show you something curious.
Oh, no, that's okay. Yeah. At the bottom of your screen, you should hopefully see an option for present now, just to the left or just to the right of the hand.
Uh-huh.
then
Okay,
you
your
can-
entire screen, there it is. I'm used to Zoom. I'm not used to this
Yeah.
particular one here. Let's see. Share.
And we are seeing us and us and us. It's just a infinity thing in there. But yeah, once you bring up whatever you want, it should be fine.
No. How do I get to my desktop?
If you there's a few ways, but if you right click in like the blank space just to the right of the web browser there should be an option for show the desktop. If you move your mouse just a little bit more to the right, keep going past that green and blue thing. Just a little bit more, and once more, and now right click. Okay, this is Windows 11. I forgot. They gotta remove things and break things. Never mind. You probably just need to minimize everything. There's also, you might be able to right or just left click at the very bottom right, just to the right of the clock, at the very right side of the screen. They sometimes have an option where it minimizes everything. It's hidden. You won't even see it. It's just like it's the very, very right side. They make it easy. They make it easy for everyone. Oh, they have virtual desktops. Oh, wow. Which desktop do you want to go to? Looks like John just may have quit out by accident. I downgraded my laptop from Windows 11 to Windows 10. I couldn't stand it for 5 minutes. Well, he should probably be joining back here in a moment, but Larry, Jim had a question, or Fred had a question for you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Larry, this is off topic, but the question always keeps coming to my mind. Why did USGS select Golden for their main center? I've always been curious about that. And if you run across somebody, if you know, or you run across somebody who might be able to answer that, I would just love to know why they picked Golden. Anyhow, that's it. Thank you.
You mean for the
Are you
National
talking
Earthquake Center?
about? Are you talking about because of the earthquake center, or?
Yes.
Okay, well, mainly because the geophysics department and the Colorado State Geological Survey are both attached to mines, and there's a lot of collaboration that takes place between those three groups.
Okay. Location.
Yeah, and
Okay.
the building is just it's walking distance. It's like a block and a half for me to walk over to that building, and we have in the geophysics department we have we have a weekly seminar on Wednesday afternoons, and they have weekly seminars also, and I'm trying to remember, I think they're on Tuesday. I have to look at my calendar, but we're always invited to their seminars, and they have some interesting things, all related to earthquakes, but it could be things like hazards because there's an earthquake causes some kind of alluvial uh, disaster or something. Side of a hill falls over and knocks out buildings or something like that. So there's a lot of collaboration, talk about things, and our main seismologist in the geophysics department, her name's Dr. Abreu, um, and she's really well known over the whole world for her studies. In fact, she is actually doing earthquake studies on Mars now. They've set up a station on Mars, and they're trying to look at, based on Mars quakes, they're trying to figure out, the structure of the interior of Mars now. So, and we know that because of Mons Meg, which is the big volcano on Mars, we know that, or it's Mons something else, but we know that, there's liquid lava / magma in the subsurface on Mars. So they're trying to figure out how is Mars made and compare it to the Earth, basically. So there's a lot of stuff going on. Everybody talks to each other. That's the
Okay,
reason.
okay, it's just a matter of communication. They're just not sitting on top of something plugged into the mantle there. Anyhow, thank you.
Sure.
So Larry, I'd like to interject something here. So many years ago, circa 1978, I was a physical science technician and worked in the branch of uranium thorium building where NEIC is in the basement, and used to see Waverly Person all the time. I just looked him up, and he's 95 now. He's still kicking.
Wow.
Did you ever meet Waverly?
Probably have. I probably have. It name's familiar, and I bet you if I saw an old picture, I would say, "Oh yeah, I know that person."
Yeah, he was a great guy. And back then, we were working for the National Uranium Resource Evaluation Project, doing stream sediment and water sampling all across the United States. And we had a scandal when someone came in with a scintillometer and found pieces of uranium ore sitting on geologists' desks that were so hot you couldn't walk in the offices. It was pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's really hard to buy, radioactive samples now. If you want, I've been trying to buy some, and you can't get them. I was able to buy some radioactive isotopes that are for basically, checking your radiometric devices, measuring devices, and I bought some. Well, one is potassium nitrate. You can buy that anywhere, and I use that as one of my um, uh, you know one of my calibration samples, and then you can get some other ones now too that you're allowed to send over the mail or UPS. Like I don't know if it's mail or US. Might be
You know,
USPS only, but anyway, you can use it for calibration to make sure your system's working okay.
geotechnical companies use them in their compaction testing equipment.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah,
You might want to check with them.
yeah. They use shoot, it's on the tip of my tongue. Yes, I know what you're talking about.
I want to say cadmium, or not. I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of what the what it outputs, which I think they're
What, scissors?
trying to remember which particle they're outputting. I don't think it's alpha. It's not gamma. It may be beta. I don't know. Can't
I
remember.
can't remember. I did a stint in isotope geology also when the NURI project ended over at Federal Center.
Yeah, I used to remember all that stuff, but now haven't used it in a long time, so I forgot. I've been on a lot of logged some deep oil and gas wells, and I've logged shallow water wells. So I've been around small diameter tools and large diameter tools.
John, I see you're back. I don't know if you want to try presenting again.
Oh, that's okay. It was just I don't know what I did. I inadvertently logged off.
Okay.
So I'm
No
back
problem.
here. It was just a fun picture I wanted to show. That's all.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Again, we have in about 30 minutes. We have a topic coming up about auto tuners. So yeah, keep your think about some questions if you have any, and I'm sure they might be covered. And if not, ask them after the meeting. Very cool. Let's see. Jeff put a link in here about nuclear densitometry.
And Larry, it's gamma. It's cesium source in gamma.
Technique used in civil construction and petroleum industry, as well as for mining and archaeology purposes, to measure the density and inner structure of the test material. Uses a nuclear density gauge, which consists of radiation source that emits particles and a sensor that counts the received particles that are either reflected by the test material or pass through it. By calculating the percentage of particles that return to the sensor, the gauge can be calibrated to measure the density. Cool stuff there.
Yeah, that sounds right. I was thinking of neutron porosity as another method that uses neutrons as the outputted particle. But gamma ray, that's right. That would be a density tool.
A lot of
yeah,
$200 words here.
yeah. The two tools that I really care about when I was working in geophysics was the density tool, which is and the sonic tool. The sonic tool just emits sound, both shear wave and the P wave, and using those you can try to come up with an estimate of the rock properties of the rock, which then I would use to try to figure out try to interpret the seismic data to try to do some sort of evaluation of the properties of the rock away from the borehole.
Okay. Crazy stuff here.
Quick comment.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got G90 on the brain here, but what I thought was pretty slick is this little unit has a antenna analyzer built into it. It's got your antenna tuner, but it also has an built-in analyzer, antenna analyzer. All of this stuff, the CW readout, and all this into this small little package. So I just thought I'd throw that out there for all the people who like to do a little bit of analysis of their antennas in projects. It's all built into this little package. Anyhow, that was my comment. Thank you.
Fred, I was going to say at HRO, those things are selling like hotcakes.
I can understand why. I mean, I haven't put this thing down for, I don't think, since I got it, and HRO got it to me right quick, and I noticed that right after I bought this, it went out of stock in the Denver store. But I'm glad I ordered it when I did. But for such a small little package, I mean, this is I've been having a blast with this thing, even though all I do is tap CW.
Yeah, it's a nice little package. You know, some people complain about the size of the screen, but the screen's got a lot of information on it, and it's
I haven't
it's a
had any
very useful
problems with it.
package. And if I
I
remember
haven't.
right, it's 10 watts, right? That's 10 watts.
20.
It is 20. Oh,
Yeah.
that's pretty decent actually. You can do a
And
lot with 20.
if you want to make it a base station, you get the amplifier with it, and you get 125.
That's right. They make the amplifier for that one. The other one we were selling was the Russian. It was a Russian one, I think. But I think people like this one better.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of the one in Rodersky. I'll have to check on that one. That sounds interesting. But
Yeah,
my,
it had a different types of um, power connectors and connectors to the computer and things like that were kind of weird. Whereas
make it difficult.
this Chinese one seems to be more compatible with American standards.
Yeah, I've had no problems whatsoever with any of the connectors on this one. I took it out of the box and put my power pole connector on it and plugged everything in, and I was on the air.
Yeah, everybody's really happy with it that's bought it. I don't know if anybody bought it and didn't like it.
Boy, for a mobile rig, portable and mobile rig, this is slick, boy. Even if you just going for the peaks on the air, you throw this in a backpack and wire antenna, and you've got well, let's not forget the battery, and, and you have quite a setup.
Yep.
Yeah, you must like
Anyhow.
that. Yeah, you've been talking about it a lot. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't tried any of the voice modes yet. I get hung up on the CW. There's been some contesting here with the straight key CC context I've been chasing after, but it's doing a fantastic job. And this software define, uh, once I zero beat a station, you hear nothing on either side of it. I mean, the filtering is fantastic. You can have two stations, one on either side of the one that you're listening to. Can't hear them. All you hear is what you've zero beated uh, for your choice of signal. So that I was real impressed with that.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think KE0SUM has also spoken about having one as well. So yeah, a few members in our club have it, and definitely impressed with that model. So yeah, with that sale, I'm sure it definitely it's back up now. It went it was a little bit it was about the same price, right? Or
Yeah, I only paid the 435, and then HRO had a special on it, knocked off a little more.
nice, very cool. Yeah, pretty slick looking radio and things that can be defined by software, things that can be driven by software and managed by software. You get a lot more functionality of your hardware and
It's
a lot more
impressive.
life. Yeah,
Yes, it's impressive.
really cool stuff. Really cool. Neat. Let's see. I guess I can speak about some hardware I got here recently. Spoken about a little bit different. It's a do I even know the model of it? It is a headless unit, 50 watts. This isn't the exact one, but this is the.
That's another point, Daron, for this G90. It's got a detachable head on it. where
Oh
you
right,
can put the
exactly.
main-
Oh,
Yeah, you can put the main body off to the side and just mount just the head, which is another slick option. Go ahead.
yeah. No, that always makes things a lot easier and breaking things out for sure. I'll have to find it's let me see if I can find it here. Well, this is the exact same kind of radio. It is truly headless in that it comes with no screen. And the screen you use, it's 50 watt VHF UHF dual band, and you communicate. It does have a traditional push to talk microphone, but you interface with a smartphone and an app. So it's worked well through my phone. I also have a Android car head unit, so I'm thinking about installing it into my car and basically having Bluetooth audio coming from the radio or from the VHF UHF transceiver into my Bluetooth receiver, and then I'll just have audio streaming through there constantly. And then it has APRS built into it as well. So and it was $150. But that was on sale. Let me see if I can find the.
Into your computer?
There's no computer app at the moment, but you can use Bluetooth audio into your computer. Yes.
Okay.
Let me see.
But no screen.
No. Let me step away. I have it have it somewhere here in a second. Nope, that's not the one. So the version I have is from Redivis. You've probably heard of them. They usually do HTs, DMR Brandmeisters. This is just a version with English writing on it as opposed to Chinese. Same thing. $150. Figured for that price, really, why not? Just try it. So, yeah, it works pretty well. I've only tried it as just a kind of a base station, but I'll need to install it as mobile and give it a test. So, it's yeah, definitely a little bit different using an app, but you know, I think it works.
Yeah, they're sizing down to the point to where the antenna connector is going to be larger than the radio chip.
Yeah, yeah. Luckily, they're still providing these just standard UHF, VHF, whatever those connectors are, SO259, PL259, whatever, as opposed to moving over to the SMA connectors. SMA, though, I mean, it's used in high bandwidth applications. I've heard of. I mean, in gigahertz, it's capable of working. So, just as we see our cell phones getting rid of USB ports and different ports and audio ports, they're trying to slim things down and make things smaller. So maybe other companies are taking similar things. So yeah, that was something I purchased here recently.
Pretty slick.
Yeah,
Pretty slick.
so I'll have to give it a shot. It also has. I think they're misleading people a little bit, but they call it cross-band repeater, but it's actually not a cross-band repeater that we would expect. It cross-band repeats between either VHF or UHF, and then it can connect via your cell phone over a cell phone connection, and it can cross-band between basically a regular analog connection and then a network connection. So, but there's some pretty interesting functionality with that though too. So some weird, interesting functionality, and yeah.
Yes,
cool.
yes, indeed. And it looks like Kathy Bellhauer, his hair is getting a little thin there. Oh, wait a minute, that's Jerry.
Ay. Nice. Very good. Very cool. I'll put it out to the group. Yeah, we still have about 15 minutes here. So we do have a hard stop at 7 o'clock to start our presentation, but I'll throw it out to the group. If anybody has any comments, questions, show and tell, any projects you're working on, anything you want to bring up for the group, let us know. Just looking through some different photos of people's new station setup. Often people get into this hobby with just a cheapo Bofang, and looks like this is potentially a European operator here with the power connector. Looks like somebody got a FT5DR we've spoken about in the past. Ooh, that's kind of interesting. It's has no keypad on the front. Oh, I think it's probably a touchscreen now that I think about that. I think that is a touchscreen on there. Another emerging technology that is slipping into the amateur radio world, removing the keypad and, yep, a touch panel, not in the traditional sense, but you can basically you can touch the front of the screen and change channels or program it a little bit there. Interesting stuff there. Don't mind jumping in if you have any comments or questions. Just checking things out, looking through some things here. Let's see if we can bring up something here. Always interesting to see where the status of the James Webb Space Telescope. It was deployed mid-December, and you can go and track that down. And it is 25 and a half days, and it's a 30-day, 29-day journey there. So another few days here, and it's going to be at Lagrange point 2, and going to be hopefully starting to provide some signs.
That's going to be looking exciting for sure.
Yeah.
Hello, Tom. HJV.
Hello there.
And I actually know what Lagrange point 2 is now. I've been looking at buying a game called High Frontier for All, and it has a solar system map and has all the different Lagrange points and all the different orbits and things, and pretty interesting game. It's
really cool.
definitely, it's not a game for gamers. It's a game for space scientists and engineers.
You said Frontier Horizon?
High Frontier for All by Ion Games. The map is incredible, and they have a Vassal module and a tabletop simulator for it.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's... Oh, okay. Super geeky here. Okay, very cool. A board game. Okay, that's right. Wow. Yeah, Lagrange. Or go ahead.
I bet Dr. Sheldon Cooper loves that.
It
Yeah.
was the person who designed the game. It was a NASA engineer. If you can get a look at the map is incredible. I think there it is. And they also have there's two maps, one that comes with the game, and then you can buy a 50% larger in both dimensions map as well.
That's nuts.
See all the orbit, they got the orbit lines. They have in color there, select that yellow line, and there'll be a little information there that says how many burns it takes to get there.
Oh, okay.
And you actually have to figure out your thrust, based on all the different components you put into your rocket and stuff. You have to figure out your thrust and how much fuel you're going to burn and
How's your
stuff like that.
calculus?
Actually, you can do it. It's easy to do, just regular old accounting math to figure it out.
Oh yes, the price to put that together and launch it.
Well, because they've already got all the burns figured out for you on the map. They have a little dot that indicates a burn, and they have Lagrange points on there, and those are kind of cool because when you get to a Lagrange point, you can then go off in different directions.
Fascinating science.
Yep, the guy's done all the science for you. All you have to do is engineer your rocket and go.
I think the neighbors would be upset if I went go.
Have you ever tried playing Kerbal Space Program, Larry? Sounds like you might love that.
Which one?
Kerbal Space Program. It's been out for a few years, or about a decade now, I think. But very similar, where it's using real orbital mechanics, I think, to launch. I mean, there's a lot of things. There's a custom playground, and you can just open creative world, and then there's contracts and stuff like that, and you have to build rockets and either single stage or multi-stage rockets to orbit, things like that. And then it's a crazy game too.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
Well, the other game, you buy patents, and then once you have a patent, you can use the patent to build whatever components. The components include people, robots, and then there's even an event there where the robots can revolt and ask for emancipation. And there's like generators, there's radiators, because in space is a terrible radiator. And then there's generators, there's reactors. There's different kinds of reactors, including nuclear. And you could build a rocket ship that has a solar sail on it, and you could use it as a sail, but it only works well when you're close to the sun. It doesn't work so well when you get out towards Jupiter. And it's got colonization in it, building factories and colonists. You just can't abandon them once you put them out there. They're forever.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about buying everything that is for this version 4, 4th edition, and I looked at everything I wanted to get. It's $168 for everything. That includes the really high quality map.
Yep. Board games still have a good cost entry there.
when I bought my first board game, it was $4.99.
Yeah, they definitely understand the market now and definitely know what they can charge for sure. Yeah.
Well, that was a lot of money for a kid that was, in
Right.
grade school.
Yeah.
$4.99.
Really cool. Well, cool. We have just a few more minutes here. Probably be a good time just to take a restroom break if you need. But otherwise, we'll just bring a couple more things up here and finish up and move on to the meeting. Let's see. I didn't have much else, I don't think. But if anybody else had any other comments, questions, anything else you'd like to bring up for the Elmer session? Any ham radio projects you're working on? Any new equipment you have? Anything you want to bring up, let us know.
Wow, that's a big generator.
Yeah.
Wow. Motorhome. Boy, that looks like fun.
Yeah.
Slick.
Looks like this is a Moonlight VHF contest. Let's see. He was saying 6 meter dead. Let's see if he gives any information about their. Let's see. HamRadioTowerTrailers.com for the. Oh, the big old mast there, right in the background.
Oh, that mast. Yeah, you can buy that from Texas Tower has one of those, and I think
Okay.
also MFJ. And you actually you put the wheel over it. That's your anchor. Is the wheel?
Oh,
So,
okay.
and that is also, I think, retractable, so you can raise that up and then bring it back down again. It's telescoping.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Okay. Yep. Yep.
I'd like to have one of those news vans that has this telescoping antenna coming up out of the van.
Yeah,
That'd be a rig to have.
with a built-in Yagi.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, some clubs are pretty good at finding those, and I know Amanda Alden in Southern Colorado, they have a van like that. And yeah, you just got to kind of find that.
Rocky Mountain Ham. They took an old TV
Oh, that's
van
who
and
that.
converted
Okay.
it for portable use as well.
That's right. Okay. That's right. Really cool stuff.
John Maxwell. He's the one that started that.
Yeah. Is that him right here?
No, that's not
Oh.
John.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
See, Jerry's W0GV and John Maxwell is W0VG.
Oh,
Victor Golf versus Golf Victor.
and I thought we also had a WG0V check-in at one point too, I thought. I don't know. That's funny. Cool. All right. Just a couple minutes left. Couple plugs out of the way, as we spoke about at the beginning. You can find more info on our club, obviously, W0TX.org. And then we also have, you can always email us, drclearningnet@gmail.com or elmer@W0TX.org. Groups.io/G/ham-learning-net. We have a Wednesday night learning net, very similar to this Elmer session here. And then on YouTube, you could just search for our club's call sign, W0TX, on YouTube, and you can find past stuff there. With that, I don't have much else. Let's see. Any last
Looks like Jerry's going to have Kathy do the introduction here this evening.
Yeah.
Or he's just using her screen.
Yeah, just that login probably. Yeah.
Hey, Jerry, I'm poking fun at you and you're not saying anything.
I think he's muted. Or I don't know.
Yeah, he just has me tuned out.
Selective hearing, something like that. Yeah. That's what my mom
Yeah,
said.
there you go. Looking forward to tonight's program.
Odd looking antennas there. Oh yeah, this guy. This looks like an ice cream container, but this is a was filled of chicken. But they made an antenna tuner out of this. Let's see if there's any other pictures here. Last minute thing, obviously that had to be that. Built the antenna. Let's see, end-fed wire tuner. Let's see, doesn't give much info at the moment there. For further pictures, funny looking thing there. All right, just about there. Another homemade project by this guy here. Your projects don't have to look pretty; they just have to work. So, case in point here. So, my name is Drone, K1DBC. Appreciate everyone being here this evening, and I will throw it over to Jerry Villahauer or Club President or whomever else wants to take it over.
Okay, I'm talking now. You know, my wireless headset, I use it at work and it works fine, but it doesn't want to work with the PC. And I've got the little little device for it, but it